Hello Scorpio, this is your reading focusing on what lesson comes from this hurtful experience. So, Scorpio, the first thing that stands out to me is trust. Now, not necessarily trust in other people, but trust in yourself. So, when I was shuffling, the moon card came out, but it landed behind the Ace of Wands. And honestly, I felt like that's exactly where it's meant to be. Because this reading to me feels like someone walking through a dark period where nothing felt completely clear. The moon it can really be a very difficult energy to be in, okay, or a cycle or a chapter to be in, because the moon brings uncertainty, confusion, paranoia, emotions are brought to the surface. You know, you're emotionally up or down, yeah, or even people are. You might be overthinking, or just where moments where you're just kind of questioning what to do next, okay. You know, you might have not been able to see the full picture, or maybe people weren't making sense, or situations weren't making sense, or maybe your life itself wasn't making sense for you. But what I love is that the Ace of Wands appeared first, okay? Because even in the middle of that uncertainty, there's still a spark. There was still a part of you that wanted to keep moving forward. And when I look at these two cards together, I don't see the moon, the moon blocking the Ace of Wands. I see the Ace of Wands acting like that candle or that torch in the darkness, okay? So you may not have been able to see the whole path, but I do feel like you were being shown enough to take the next steps. And sometimes, my darling, you know, even though it was uncomfortable, sometimes that's all you need. So yeah, I feel that a lesson here feels like you're really like, you're learning that you don't need complete certainty before moving forward. You don't need every answer. You don't need to know exactly how everything will unfold. You simply need to trust yourself enough to keep going. And then we move into the King of Wands, right? Now, to me, this feels like you're becoming, this is like, yeah, who you're becoming because of this experience. The King of Wands isn't controlled by fear, confusion, or emotional reactions. He's a king. He's mastered that energy. He understands that real strength isn't about reacting to everything around him. It's about knowing when to respond and when to step back. So for some of you, this lesson may have taught you the importance of staying calm, protecting your peace, and choosing a calmer approach during uncertain situations. You know, the moon really can sometimes make us want immediate answers. It can make us assume the worst, react too quickly, or become kind of caught up in fear, worry, frustration, or drama. But the King of Wands has learned something differently. He's learned that not every situation deserves its energy. Not every disagreement deserves an argument. Not every challenge deserves a reaction. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause and respond from a place of confidence rather than, you know, like emotions. And I actually feel this experience may have taught you the value of protecting your peace, my darling. Because we've got the otter and the cattail piece, yeah? So I do feel like it has, like, this has really taught you, you know, how to control your response and how to choose really, bloody hell, how to choose calm over chaos, yeah. Not because you're avoiding problems, but because it's like you've realised that reacting impulsively often creates more confusion, while patience and self-control allows you to see situations more clearly. And it's kind of like, there's this quiet like confidence here that really says, you know, you don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to react to everything. You don't need to, you know, or you can trust yourself enough to choose how you respond wisely, yeah? And I feel that's one of the biggest lessons this experience has actually given you, with the 7 wands at the bottom of the deck that really confirms this. You know, it reminds you to stand your ground, to trust your perspective, and to protect your energy, not by fighting every battle, but being selective about which battles are truly worth your time. Because there is this difference between like standing up for yourself and getting pulled into like unnecessary drama. So this experience feels like it's taught you that protecting your peace is just as important as protecting your position. So yeah, I really feel that the lesson from this hurtful experience feels like learning to trust yourself during uncertain times, and learning that clarity doesn't always arrive all at once, and learning that not everything requires immediate reaction, my darling, and learning that your strength comes not from controlling every situation, but from controlling how you choose to respond to it. So I hope this reading's helped. Oh, that's annoying. I hope this reading's helped. Have a good day. Bye-bye.